Israel achieved everything that we hope to achieve in a very, very short time. I think that everybody understands, especially right now, what could be happened if that was not achieved. Think about it until we will see the awful Iranian radical Shia regime falling down. I don't know if it will take place in a matter of days or weeks or months, but I can say and I believe that until in this Trump administration, that's it for them. It's a matter of time. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I truly, truly believe and hope that that's the situation now. I'm saying, and it's a hard statement because the prices of October 7 are very, very hard. But in a way, October 7, think about it for a second, saved Israel. It saved Israel because if not October 7, the October 8 conception of Qatar and everything that we are saying was continue to working under the radar.
Welcome to this edition of the Mailtime Podcast. I'm joined today by Sagiv Asulin. He is 2 months removed from his service in the Mossad, and he is now at the Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs. Sagiv, thanks so much for taking the time.
Happy to be here, Daniel. It's 2 months that I'm officially out, but after 1 year of, let's call it a cooling time period in a research center in Jerusalem, the JCFA, if you're familiar.
When you say cooling period, for those who actually don't even understand the Mossad, like what do you guys do?
Where to start?
What are the responsibilities and the categories that you were handling when you were working in it's the Israeli equivalent of the CIA?
It is, and I guess we will speak more about me and the things that I'm maybe did or hoping to achieve now that I'm out. But I can say in general that I was operational for the last 15 years. I studied the Farsi language, so I mainly dealt with Iran, starting from special operations and what we call also human sources intelligence, and pretty much everything around that, starting as an operational and all the way to senior commander.
Have you gotten any calls from anyone that you dealt with when you were in hiding, or not in hiding, but when you were using alternative names? Have you had anyone that you were working or corresponding with that has now seen you on television now that you've been out of the Mossad?
No, not yet, to be honest.
Okay.
Yet. Let's hope we'll not get any calls.
I don't want to ask you anything that you really can't talk about, but you are an expert on Iran and you are dealing with Iran. First, what was your view of what happened during the 12-day war? Was it successful according to what you think the operational goals were?
I will say that like that. First of all, Israel achieved everything that we hope to achieve in a very, very short time. I think that everybody understands, especially right now, what could be happened if that was not achieved. Think about it on this situation in Iran with the riots over there right now. If the regime was holding nuclear capabilities, wherever we could be right now. So it was almost in the last second. We are living in time not like it used to be, that maybe 90% from everything that used to be covered or under the radar, it's out there and very fast by the media, by the leaders, almost everything that the public knows, not in real time, but just in few, maybe even sometimes few seconds or few minutes after something is taking place. But in a way, most of the things that regarding these 12 days wars and the achievement that were over there and the reasons that we get into that were published. And I must say that it's very accurate. Most of the things that were published, Israel, and of course together with America, achieved everything that we're supposed to achieve. We were very close to achieve a little bit more than that, or much more than that, and it was prevented in the last second. Things that related to the regime, that maybe if we were doing that then, we were not in this situation right now.
Okay, I'm trying to understand, and it's very intimidating sitting with someone who was in the Mossad for so long, because it's I'm trying to understand everything and see if there's hints that you're giving out. When you saw in during the 12-day war, there were reports of things just randomly exploding on the ground in Iran, and whether that's car bombs or all sorts of different devices. As someone that was involved in the Mossad, are you smiling when you see that happening? Are you like, is it running through your head, okay, I kind of understand what's going on, or these are separate from operations you're familiar with?
I will say that, the Iranian regime is calling out loud in a very clear way, 5-10 times a day, marred by America, marred by Israel. And the meaning is death to Israel, death to America. They intend that. Sometimes people ask me, what is the strategy of the Iranian regime for America and for Israel? I'm saying it's very simple in this case. What they mean, what they say, this is what they mean. So when I'm seeing situation like those that you described, I guess I'm very pleased. And we can smile and be pleased from things that happening over there.
You say that now things are changing because people can see things in real time. It's very hard to sometimes understand and see through the weeds of propaganda. How do you understand the protests that were going on right now? Are they really making a big impact to the regime, or is it still kind of limited because Iran is a country of something like 90 million people?
Iran is a huge country, that's true. 90-something million people, 60 times more, bigger than Israel, huge country, superpower, 3,000 years of history, empire. It's important to understand that this wave of demonstrations in Iran are very, very different from everything that we saw until now. In the beginning, I said that, not now, I said it 2.5 weeks ago when it started, and I analyzed why. And I will tell you why. First of all, this is the first time ever that we see groups of protesters, of people in Iran that usually didn't protest, coming from the bazaar, coming from the union workers, the taxi driver, the truck drivers, student organization, all of them together with the young generation coming together, and you have the biggest nightmare of the Iranian regime, that's actually a combination of economic situation and political situation. Those two things that coming together, creating a different situation that from everything that we saw until now. It's extremely, extremely different. The second thing, that the first time ever you have an alternative leadership. It was lacking in 2009, the Green Movement time, and also in 2022 with Mahsa Amini and the hijab. Now you have the Reza Shah, the crown prince, Reza Shah Pahlavi, that even that no one consider him as a real possibility to lead this struggle. He's doing a good job. People are following his call in Iran. And maybe until last Thursday, it was authentic, 100% authentic from the Iranian people. But starting Thursday, they are following his footsteps, and that's a huge change. It's not important if not everyone is following him, but the fact that you have a figure, a symbol that leading that's a huge change, and that's extremely important. And the X factor, as I see that, is the fact that not like it used to be. We see now an international support. And when I'm saying international support, the most important support is from America. Obama let the protesters in 2009 down. They were shouting, calling his name, and he left them by themselves over there, butchered. And same goes for 2022 with Biden. And now we see finally something else. If we take these three topics that I mentioned, I believe that it's a matter of time until we will see the awful Iranian radical Shia regime falling down. I don't know if it will take place in a matter of days or weeks or months, but I can say, and I believe that until in this Trump administration, that's it for them. It's a matter of time. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I truly believe and hope that that's the situation now.
You mentioned the son of the former Shah.
Yeah.
If it's not him, what are the other alternatives for potential leadership if the Iranian regime were to fall?
That's one of the problems that the Iranian opposition have. They don't really have other names for now that will be acceptable. And I think that the Crown Prince did a good job while saying that he's not going to take back the monarchy, and he see himself only as a leader for a transition period, and then let's have democracy. I can say that, you know, after a situation like that, and it's not that we are already in the after Iranian regime period of time. It will take time, but I guess that we will see a lot of instability over there. But it will be very hard to point on another leader this time, and I believe that it will take time even to raise up other names.
How do people in Iran consume Western media, if at all, right? When you see that the internet level has now gone down, there's very limited internet. I know Starlink has been put up by Elon Musk, but are people in Iran able to access conversations or support that's occurring in the West? How quickly does it take people in Iran, for Trump to tweet or put on Truth Social, and for that to then show up on their phone?
So we need to separate between now, the last 5 days, when there is complete blackout, darkness of internet media, very hard situation, and everyday life. Look, Daniel, there 60% of from the population, the Iranian population, under the age of 38. That's ratio that is almost, you will find it very hard to find something like that at any other place in the world. And the Iranian people, especially the young people in Iran, they are 100% Westerns. They are anti-Islam, anti-Shia, anti-Iranian regime in any aspect that you can think. Telling you, I've been in many places, sat with a lot of Iranians, but I remember a situation in a specific bar in a country nearby Iran, not sitting with a friend of mine, both of us speaking Farsi between us, and were a lot of Israelis, a lot of Iranian at the same place. It was very hard to define who's Iranian, who's Israelis. I'm trying to say to prove how Westerns they are in their state of mind, and
they're drinking.
Of course, that's there is nothing between this generation to the Iranian regime. They are becoming secular. They are converting to Christianity. By the way, evangelical Christianity as a statement, we are close to the Jewish people or to the Israelis. They are going back to the Zoroastrian, ancient Iranian religious. They see themselves very, very different from the Iranian regime. For this regime in Iran, when 60% are under the age of 38, there is nothing will keep them there. It's a matter of time. And now with everything that taking place over there, and we see it will take place even faster. But to your question about right now, I know that there are places that even Starlink is not working because of cyber attack on Starlink, and also they are taking out in some places the electricity, that it will not work. They are trying to prevent any kind of communication with the outside world out of Iran, exactly because of that, because they understand that one statement, one declaration of President Trump is, in my eyes, is equal to 100 ballistic missiles. And this is a statement like today, for example, that help is on the way and you are patriot, keep on demonstrate. This is fuel for them. This is air, to continue their struggle. They understand that they are not alone. And that was the lacking part in any other conflicts over there in the past. It was lack of hope. They needed hope. They need hope right now. They need support from the Western countries, but mainly from America.
How is it different than, for example, the war in Iraq or other times that Western countries have intervened in the Middle East?
I think it's very different because even if you go to Iraq or Afghanistan or any other places, you don't see a lot of, I will say it like that, a lot of differences between the leadership and the nation and the people. Here we have a nation, a culture that was captured, that was taken like prisoners, that are living under impossible conditions, and the economy of their nation is headed or targeted to Hezbollah, to Hamas, to Houthis, to everything else except of their own people. I think this is maybe the only, and I don't know if the only, but one of the only nations worldwide that afraid from their own people than their enemies. So I think that there is a huge change between this situation and Iraq or Afghanistan or any other place. In each of those places that you mentioned was a conflict, other conflicts, not something like that.
Understood. How do you think other Gulf countries are looking from the sidelines? What do you think is going through the head of Turkey or Qatar when they see the United States standing up so forcefully?
So you mentioned two countries that they are different, very different. Qatar and Turkey, they are very different from the rest of the countries in the Gulf and in the Middle East right now. So
you could throw Saudi Arabia in there also.
Yeah, so you have two groups over there basically. You have the Muslim Brotherhoods that led by Qatar, and extremist Islamic. The Turkey right now is part of this camp. Hamas also, and maybe a few others. And you have Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states that relatively in the last few years are becoming much more modest and much more modern and in alliance with Western needs, values, and America. All of those countries, first of all, see even Turkey in a way, they see Iran, because of the Shia-Sunni conflict, as a threat. I will tell you, there's not even one of those countries that will be, I will say, that will be sad if they will see Iranian regime falling. Okay, because of their own interests. If Israel is not exist, they will fight between them, Shia-Sunni war. Okay, that's there are few steps. First of all, Israel, then Western countries, then inside the Islam. So that's not something that it's a well-known thing. But if we are looking on Saudi Arabia and the rest of the countries in the Gulf, of course they are not just waiting. I will say hoping, praying, doing everything that they can behind the scenes to help America to take down this awful regime there. So a lot of things are emerging and taking place under the radar.
In terms of Iran's support, despite the differences between Shia and Sunni, how do you think the regime actually viewed or continues to view things like Hamas and Hezbollah? Obviously, they're from different sects within Islam, but they were and are providing financial support.
So the only or a group that they are different from the Iranian regime is Hamas. They are the only one that they are different. There is no difference between Hezbollah, Shia, and Iranian. That's exactly the same.
Got it.
They are the same beliefs, same religious, same everything. You cannot separate Hezbollah from Quds forces, from the IRGC, from Iranian regime. This is the tragedy of the Iranian regime for ages, by the way, is to have proxies all over the world that will fight for them. And the Houthis, they are also coming from they are Shias. There's something that is different, and in a way broke all the rules. But Israel is making a lot of other groups and enemies to break rules, and the enemy of your enemy and things like that. They are Sunni, and this is a different story. But the Iranian will do everything that they can do to survive, to push the war and the threat from their own country. And in a way, think about it. What started in October 7 by Hamas in Israel will end with the fall of the Iranian regime. And it will happen. And this is the proof and the collapse of all the Iranian strategy to create a ring of fire around Israel. So that in Lebanon, in Syria, in Gaza, and the second circle, Iraq, Houthis, others, all of that is almost not exist.
The Iranian regime is not stupid. They're fighting for survival, and they are cunning, brutal. What are their practical next steps that you think they're going to try to carry out to survive?
I think that first of all, they are in kind of a catch-22. Everything, they are in a very, thanks God, in a very bad situation, because they will find it very hard to handle the internal situation, and also to confront something from the outside. They are very, very good in negotiation, in what I call bazaar tactic, to talk, to speak, to say something and to mean something else. To one hand will do one thing and the other will say something else, and they try that just recently. Yesterday, 2 days ago, they deliver all the messages, try to renew negotiations, to agree even to a new ceasefire or to nuclear, I will say, agreement. But I hope, and from what I see, it was not successful. And the things that we are seeing from inside Iran brought President Trump to the understanding that this is a game. This is something that they are trying to sell. They will do everything that they can to steal time, to stall
for time. Yeah,
everything that they can, and so they try to.
You weren't a Mossad agent in America, okay?
Yeah. By
clarified.
By the way.
Yeah.
If you are like, I know it's, you said it as a joke, but not many people know that. But for Mossad to do something, and I'm saying something, even to visit America, it's need to be 100% coordinated. 100% coordinated. Mossad is not working in America. So I'm hearing a lot of...
Oh, the people say, this is the Mossad doing this, Charlie Kirk or something.
But I was amazed to hear all those, how do you call it?
Morons?
No, but people are really speaking about that, believes that it's something. But if I wish that someone will show that officially. Mossad.
No, but that's the whole point. The whole point is that it's kind of like the movie Munich, and they see these shadowy figures, and they think that it's the hands of the Jewish conspiracy, right?
Out loud and clear.
Right.
Not in America, not in the US, not even there. It's like a huge, deep red line that Mossad is not doing anything in America, and I'm saying anything. Even for someone that is part of the Mossad, even to enter America, the Israelis will let our American friends know that he's coming. that's the case. So it's
Right.
of course it's nonsense, and it's something that it's ridiculous, and someone that's saying something about that need to know that those are the rules in Israel, and we we keep that. America is an ally, and is much more than an ally. It's like a big brother. Everything is coordinated. I think it's important to say that for those.
Listen, I have so many Mossad questions for you on that. But like, by the way, the first time you spoke Farsi on a mission, how nervous are you that you're going to misspeak, or that you might say something that gives away that you're not actually from Iran?
Look, if someone will tell you that is 100%, 55, your pulse is
Right.
55, and you don't feel any pressure. So the pressure is there, and it's a healthy pressure, but you're well trained, and also well know how to get from different situations. But yes, it's always there, like every time, everything that you do in life. And when you get, you becoming better and better as the time passes.
All right. It's crazy. You're operating, you can stumble on one word here or there, and then we're sitting here in Miami. We're not nervous that someone perhaps would try to kill us because we have just blown our cover as some sort of Israeli agent, right? So that's a whole different pressure. I can't imagine. You definitely can, because you did it. But I want to focus on Qatar. There's a lot of varying opinions. You have people like Steve Witkoff, who's involved very much in hostage negotiation in the Trump administration, who previously had business ties there. His son Alex still is doing business in the Gulf, and specifically with Qatar. You have the former head of the Mossad, Yossi Cohen, seems to think that there's a future with Qatar in some way. President Trump seems to think that there is a future with Qatar based on the relationship that the Trump administration has there at large. Israel previously thought that Qatar was really a partner in using them and working with them to coordinate payments to Hamas. How do you see it?
Well, I will not be politically correct. I think that you cannot explain October 7 and everything that brought us, unfortunately, to October 7 without analyzing and understanding Qatar part on that. We have one enemy that they are, everybody declared the name, and we just spoke maybe 20 or 30 minutes about them. That's Iran. We have another enemy that work in different ways. That's Qatar. Qatar, in a very, very sophisticated way, started maybe 10 to 15 years ago, while understanding that they don't have army, then they cannot confront Israel and the Western civilization by regular military kinetic tools. They declare for themselves with their own tools and their own partners, PR, conception, public perception of Israel and Zionism and Judaism, and anti-Western campaign against all of that, and with a lot of patience, with a lot of money penetrating.
They hosted the World Cup.
That's one of the ways to do that. Yeah, sport, education, social media, you name it. And what I'm trying to emphasize here, that what we saw day after October 7 in Harvard University, in Columbia University a few days after, and then all over the world, and also here in America, that's not a coincidence. That's an outcome of a well planned, sponsored, very sophisticated, maybe the biggest, most expensive propaganda that the world saw, sponsored by Qatar. Not just by them. You have, as I see it, you have a kind of a triangle of Qatar from one side. From the other side, you have radical Islam ideology, the silent Islam, as they call it, and you have new communism methodologies that all, it's not that those three groups are sitting together every Sunday morning and saying, okay, you will do that, you will do that. But they are, each one of them are pushing some ideology from one side, and each one of them is getting into a vacuum that was created from the other one. And what we see now is the results and the outcome of all of that. And we see the young generation, not just in America, but worldwide. We see London that fallen. You see Paris, Brussels, and now even New York. That's an outcome of this, what I call the eighth front. Why eighth front? Because Israel fought in 7 fronts. Thanks God we are winning in all of them. But in the eighth front, that's the front against Western civilization and Zionism and Judaism, we are losing. We are losing terribly. And that's for another conversation. There is a lot to do over there. But one of the main things that we need to do is to understand that Qatar is leading that, is sponsoring that. I'm not saying that it cannot be changed, but Qatar need to be exposed for what they are doing. The Western civilization led by America and Israel need to confront them, and they need to change a lot of things, and they will not change that until we will confront them on those things. In a way, I see Qatar and what they do worldwide an equal threat, like the Iranian threat, and not just for Israel. Not just for
Well,
Israel.
I mean, look, it's the West. It's a bad idea. If you have people that are going to what is supposed to be your best universities, your best colleges, and they are supporting a radical terrorist organization that kidnapped the Bebas children, that paraded dead bodies into Gaza, right? Something is fundamentally broken, right? So if people are at Columbia, Harvard, and they are openly supporting Hamas, that's a big problem. Do you think that the train has left the station, or do you think there is something to actually cut this off? Because my concern is you've had now not just one, but probably 2 generations of students go through higher education in America with, I think it was Northwestern or Texas Tech or A&M. Yeah. They've taken hundreds of millions of dollars from Qatar. So how do you undo that damage?
We must be optimistic and to fight back. By the way, the same tools of soft influence, of education, of social networks, of legal war, economic war, all of that. And Israel and the Western civilization in general, we're not there. We're not there. There is a lot of ways to do that, and we need to understand that it will not be a 12 days war. It will not be a single beeper operation or something like that. It will be like that, and we finish with that. That's a struggle that will take years to fix, but better to start, to start now than later, because I don't know if we will need a generation or more. I believe that it could be faster, because the outcome of what they did, and I think the Western countries are understanding right now that they jeopardize their own future. They see that they are not who they are anymore. Personally, I think that most of Europe already fallen. There's no use to do anything over there. Maybe a few years ahead, we will try to fight back and reclaim those countries. The only place that is matter right now is America, because in America, the demography and the situation is not worse like Europe. And you have here, as a free world, we have here a president that understands that. He understands that. He understands the differences between bad and good, light and darkness, evil, and etc., etc. And the things that he did in the last 2 years, while still trying to have a business with those groups, are huge, and he's doing the right things. We need to make sure and hope that it will continue. That's the thing.
I'm not trying to call out any individuals here, but what would you say to people that are not only open to doing business with Qatar, but actually promoting it and encouraging other people to do business with Qatar?
I think, first of all, that they are mistaking It's a huge mistake. It's basically, if they understand what we just shared, so it's to cooperate with an enemy for for money. I will say it's of course inside Israel it's almost it's not almost, that's someone that do something like that, especially now after October 7 and understanding and seeing the last 2 years, that's a betrayal. But again, we should change, first of all, for us in Israel, all the definitions and the relationship with Qatar and put them on the spot, and then we can preach to the rest of the world about this relationship with them.
Understood.
We did a lot of mistakes over there. We brought them back to the main stage of the world politics as I'm guessing from the right motivation, or no one did it for bad reasons. But for us, I'm coming from a place that every time that we are doing something, we're analyzing. I mean, we can be happy for the results for a few seconds, but mainly we are analyzing where we could be better. And the first thing is to admit where your mistakes and where you did good and when you did less and where you did bad. And we are not there yet in Israel regarding Qatar.
Kind of leads me to my next question. When it comes to October 7th, what do you think was the Mossad's biggest oversight, you want to say, or mistake in the years leading up to October 7th?
First of all, I will say that the fact that the Mossad was not have any kind of responsibility on Gaza, Palestinians, anything that related to October 7, it's not giving me any kind of peace or something. Say, oh, thanks God, it's not us. No, it's even exactly the opposite. It's making a lot of. It's very hard. It was very hard for me. It still is, to be part of such an amazing organization and to understand that we couldn't prevent that, even that it was not under our responsibility. When I started years ago, we were working on all kind of objects, I will say, Iranian, Lebanese, Syrian, also from Gaza. Around 2000 of I think 15, 16, something like that, the decision was taken that the Mossad is out of Gaza. Those days, the head of the Mossad those days did everything that he could to prevent that, to change that. But all in all, the decision was taken, and more than something like 10 years before, the Mossad is not related to this front. Having said all of that, I think that we should heavily check also everything that related to Qatar and to the money, suitcases and all of that. Again, maybe even that there is not a direct line between that to the Mossad, but it's not important as I see it which organization. We need to check ourselves all over and go very deep and admit all the mistakes and take responsibility if we want to improve and to prevent something like that for the future.
I want to ask one question just as a follow-up on that. If the Mossad is in charge of foreign countries and foreign entities and trying to monitor what's going on, for example, Iran, right? There's been an argument or a case put forward that Iran was communicating with Sinwar and other people to, in coordination of October 7th. And you had Hamas's political leadership in Qatar. So wouldn't the Mossad be responsible with picking up those communications that are going on between Sinwar and the people abroad?
It's a good question. It's a good question, and I will answer that.
A guy from the Mossad said I asked a good question. Thank you.
Oh, you asked a lot of good questions.
Thank you.
But I will say that also in a very direct answer. Let's just say that if Sinwar and the leadership of Hamas from Gaza, or those that they are outside of Gaza, were somehow delivering the message about October 7 to the Iranian or to the Hezbollah or to others, most probably we were knowing that. They didn't do that.
So that basically the whole theory, and like we talked about off camera before, part of the reason I started this podcast was to try to actually see through some of what I'll call fake news. But there's a lot of people that were pushing all sorts of crazy theories saying, okay, we have the plans, and they were trying to coordinate with everybody, and for whatever reason, Hezbollah didn't join. So you're saying that there wasn't actually a whole...
One of the reasons they didn't deliver this message specifically about October 7, not in general, we are planning to do something.
Well, we can assume that the enemies of them want to kill Israel.
They didn't do that because of the fact that they knew or estimate that if they will do that, it will be exposed not from inside Gaza, from Iran or from Hezbollah, from any others part by the Mossad. So they didn't do that. They hoped that if they will initiate this attack, everybody will join fast because everybody will understand the big picture. So I can tell you something as an Israeli, a Jew, a believer, of course, that as more that you know things behind the scenes, you understand that there is a lot of things that we don't control, and that we have a special protection, because a lot of things could easily go to other directions. I'm saying, and it's a hard statement, because the prices of October 7 are very, very hard. But in a way, October 7, think about it for a second, saved Israel. It saved Israel, because if not October 7, the October 8 conception of Qatar and everything that we are saying was continue to walking under the radar. If not October 7, we were not closing the circle with Iran and with Hezbollah. If not October 7, we are not getting to a place that 2 years after we will see very soon the ending of the Ayatollah regime in Iran. So sometimes things happening for a reason, and of course with a very, very heavy price. But I believe that in perspective of time, we will understand and realize even more how October 7 saved Israel, and not just Israel.
Before we close, I want to ask a few questions just about the Mossad and you personally. You said, thank God. How do you reconcile your faith as a Jew and being involved in Jewish communal life or with your family, with being in the Mossad and having a number of alter egos, or being in all sorts of different places that are probably not so pro-Jewish?
I don't see any contradiction between all of that. And
no, I'm saying, is it hard on a day-to-day basis, right? That you're like, first of all, you're not with your family, you're doing whatever you're doing in the Mossad, and
you have a very, very strong center and a very strong belief and understanding who you are, why you are doing what you are doing. Personally, I'm answering you in a very personal. Each one can come from. For me, if it's not the Torah of Israel, the land of Israel, and the faith, all of those, and of course, there's nothing else. That's the why, and that's the how. And whenever you can be maybe a little bit confused because of situations, you are getting back to that. That's for me personally. There's absolutely everything is around that.
Without going into a political thing, but there's a new head of the Mossad coming in, a little bit of an unconventional choice. Roman Goffman didn't come up through the Mossad. You've spent more time in the Mossad than him. What do you think the outlook is for the organization with new leadership?
Look, I don't know him personally. I heard a lot of good things about him. He spent a lot of time with the president, with the Prime Minister Netanyahu, so he's got a lot of international understanding and perspective. He's a great warrior.
Hero of October 7.
Hero of October 7. So I personally believe that for any organization, Sometimes it's good to have like reshuffle. And one of the strongest point of the Mossad is that I don't know if you know, but most of us are joining not directly from the army. We're joining around the age of 30 something even.
Really?
Yeah, and it's this organization is very powerful because it's always bringing outside forces from out of the Mossad and out of the security forces and bringing a lot of new energies, technologies, ideas, views. This is why one of the reasons that this is the best organization in the world. So the decision was taken by the prime minister, and of course, what we need to do is to say to wish a lot of success to Goffman. I said it before. The Mossad is bigger and stronger than anyone that will lead the organization. And there is a lot of good and strong people inside the Mossad that will help Mr. Goffman to lead the Mossad to the right direction. And from what I heard, he's a smart, intelligent guy that will make sure that he's put around, surround himself with people that are from the Mossad, from the field of espionage. And he's got 6 months to close a lot of gaps. I believe that the head of organization need to come with the values, with the strategy, with the vision, and that's more important than any other thing. Also inside the Mossad, you have a lot of, or any organization, someone that come from technology or from human or from other things. They are very different. It's like different columns, different ways. Not everybody is doing everything, and you have different heads of the Mossad from different agendas and different, I will say, professions. I think it will be okay.
What's the most misunderstood thing about the Mossad?
The fact that you have so many misunderstood things.
Is that part of the strategy?
Maybe in a way.
Because I genuinely think that some of these crazy protesters in the streets of New York, like they think that the Mossad is like embedded with them and it's gonna kill them or something.
If it's in America, they can be relaxed that we are not here. I'm not doing anything here.
Any other country though, be nervous.
Yes.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel.